instructor for the day. This is going to be a great class if you're interested in setting up a pop-up shop for the holidays, or if you're just ready to go beyond. Let me see. I think, Maria, do you want to switch the picture? I don't know. Do I have it wrong? I may. Oh, do you want to switch me to the speaker?
Done.
Okay. All right, great. So hi, everybody. Again, oops. My name is Kesley Anderson, and I'll be your Cricut instructor for the day. This class is 6 great techniques and ideas, 6 ideas to helping you set up a pop-up shop for the holidays. So if you're ready to go beyond just making shirts for yourself or your friends, or being that, go-to team parent who's like, oh, we need team shirts, let's go ask her. If you're ready to take your ideas and creativity to the next step, may have a little side hustle, make some pocket change, this is going to get you started. So we're going to go through a presentation and share some ideas. And then I have some shirts to make with you while you have an opportunity to ask questions. So I guess let me just give you a little bit of my background. I am a serial entrepreneur. So I love starting businesses, and I've sold 2 businesses that I've started. It's very fun. Even if it's just a temporary business that gets me over like a little financial hump, or, hey, I have this idea, I want to throw it out there and give it a shot. It's always worth trying it. So I want to encourage you, if you have been bit by that bug, to give it a shot and use this opportunity, our next hour together, to ask all the questions. And if you're thinking it, somebody else is also going to be thinking it. This class is being recorded, so you'll be able to go back and rewatch it and get the answers to the questions if you missed one, or see a technique I did if you missed it. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. First, I'll share my screen, and we'll go ahead, and I'm going to jump in right here. Let me get this up there. Okay, here we go. So Cricut, how to start a side hustle using iron-on vinyl, the Easy Press, and t-shirts. And all of these materials you can find at Michael's, which I really like, because everything is at your fingertips. So if you have an idea in the middle of the night, the next morning you wake up, you can run over and get the supplies you need and implement it almost instantly. So if you're ready to go from teen parent to entrepreneur, the Cricut iron-on vinyl system is going to be your go-to start. So what is a pop-up shop? So a pop-up shop is a temporary storefront. Your idea of a pop-up shop may be, hey, there's going to be a farmer's market and I can get a booth, or there's a tailgate and I can have a little side hustle at the tailgate. Or it may even be, I'm planning on a holiday market and I want to ramp up my production now, so I'm ready to go. So whatever your pop-up shop idea is, we want to help you out. So one idea is to get local. This is one of my favorite shirts. I can't tell you how many times I have repurposed this simple design. It's very basic. And the great thing about something like this is that you can have a variety of the same style on hand and then make them as you go. So sort of an on-demand type of production. So if you live in a large metropolitan area, or you're going to a large metropolitan area that has a few different counties or towns or areas that you want to spotlight and highlight in your booth, you can have the name or the zip code, even is you can have all of that ready to go and then heat press on demand on site. So when you get local, you can really dial down into what the local community needs are. Also, you can be a champion for a either a social event, like a local event. Keeping it local. If you have a local charity, you can work with a local charity and make t-shirts that support that local charity, or you can go for bigger campaigns like the Pride campaign. I love this one. If you did a pop-up shop in September, you might do something like this. November is Child Cancer Awareness Month, so you could have something geared around that during your holidays. So it's a great way to sort of make a mark and help a local charity or a national charity or foundation. Get seasonal with your ideas. So we all know, the other day when we turned into August, I was like, oh my goodness, we only have 90 days until Halloween. So I have my Boo Crew and Halloween ideas have been just on overload recently. So you can get seasonal if you're doing an event between now and Halloween and really have some very fun Halloween items ready to go, or future holidays, which is another slide coming up. To be on brand. So each of us has our own brand and our own style and how we want to present ourselves to the public. So being on brand means to take whatever motivates you and inspires you and gets your feet up out of bed every morning, and to make that your brand, because you may take that inspiration that you use and share it out with your community and inspire other people. So they're going to want to have your t-shirt or your design and sport it around. We actually have a local, I'm in the Northern Virginia area, and we have a local charity that has a branded heart, and all over our town and other local surrounding towns, you can find this heart in people's front yards, on their cars, in their windows. It really started off as one student's project to it was like I think it started off as a Boy Scout project, and it was to raise a little bit of funds to help food insecure families in our community. And it just has blossomed and grown and has gotten so much community support that their brand now is on t-shirts, on bags, on cars, on magnets, Christmas ornaments. I bought their yard signs and sent them off with my kids to college. So it's just a growing brand that they've created. And so, that is a great way for a local pop-up shop or a local market, is to be on brand with your community. Keep it simple. So have you all heard of decision fatigue? This is when you have too many choices and you just get to the point where you can't make another choice. So if you're doing a pop-up shop, I want to encourage you to keep it simple. Your designs may be simple and the quantities that you offer may be simple. And that will prevent people from getting decision fatigue. The benefit to doing a pop-up shop is that you're only temporary. You're there for just a short period of time, and that creates such urgency from people who are visiting your shop or at the market, wherever you're located. They're feeling a little bit of urgency, like, oh, I may not see this again, or oh, this is a one-time thing. I want to pick something out and purchase it. If you give them too many choices, too many colors, too many designs, they get decision fatigue and they walk away without purchasing anything. So you can keep it simple. I like to narrow my color choices down to only 5 or fewer choices and sort of stick with my theme, my brand for that event, and so that I can really maximize my time at a pop-up event. And then the last thing is to start thinking ahead. So if you know you have future events coming along, you can start planning now for those events. So if you're doing a back to school event now, you may want to advertise or give a little teaser of some of your holiday materials that you're working on. So for example, if you're doing a back to school event and you know you've got some really cute ideas for the holidays like Halloween coming up, maybe your niche is you want to design group Halloween costumes. So you may want to start showing a little bit of what you have coming up. Not only will that tease people into, oh, what's next? I've got to find this crafter at the next local event and bring them back in. but you can also create on-demand purchases where people are buying it on demand right there, but also purchases in the future. People can see a design and say, "Ooh, I want to order that when it's ready." And you can just tell them, "Great, I'm going to be at this market. I'll have it ready for you." And you can swing by and pick it up when you're at the market or drop it off at their home if they're local, however you want to do that. But that teaser that this is what's coming in the future lets them know, while you're a one-stop shop today, you might be something more in the future for them. So to make this all happen, oh, this was another, I wanted to show this one. As you're working on your projects, Cricut Design Space in the Cricut Access image sets has all of these great laundry care symbols that you could add to the inside of a shirt, in the collar or something like that. So really give your customers some extra special details on your materials. Now we're going to talk about the material today is Cricut Smart Iron-On material. And the Smart Iron-On is designed for the Cricut Maker 3 and the Explorer 3. You can absolutely use it in the Explorer and the Maker, the older models, but it works really best in the newer models. And the reason why is the Smart material is designed to go into your machine without needing a mat. So that is a huge time saver for you. And as like an entrepreneur, as a pop-up shop, time is just invaluable. So anything that makes it go faster, makes your process a little bit faster, is a great help. So the Smart Iron-On material is it's like our everyday iron-on material, but it's got a thicker backing. And again, you can put it in the Maker 3 and the Explorer 3 without needing a mat. So that's going to be a big time saver for you. And then the Easy Press 3 is works with the phone, with the app, the Heat app. And I'm going to show you how that works. So if you're at a booth and you have access to electricity and you can press on demand, this is going to be a really big feature for your booth. Now, creating with Cricut Iron-On Vinyl really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. You simply have to find your design in Design Space, cut it, and then press it. In Design Space, you can upload an image, select an image from the Design Space library to customize a project, and you can also resize your images in the Design Space. So I'm hoping most of you are familiar with Design Space and you're just ready to go to the next step, which is just that mass production, getting ready for a show. Here's a chart I use as a general rule of thumb for my sizing of my designs. So if I'm working on a youth shirt or youth project, the largest size, let's say, for example, I have a youth medium shirt. My design, about the largest I want to go is 7.5 inches. Now, there will be times when you'll go bigger or smaller. It will just vary on your design and what you're trying to achieve. But this is a great chart that's just kind of like a general guideline, rule of thumb for how big your design should be based on the size shirt you're making. If you're doing something like if you're doing a lot of one design, you might want to consider having it available in multiple sizes in the design. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go. Now, the other great thing about the Smart Iron-On Vinyl is you can cut beyond the mat. So if you're using a Cricut mat, the longest you can cut is 24 inches. With the Smart Iron-On Vinyl, you can actually cut as long as the vinyl is. I see a couple hands raised, guys. Please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A. I didn't give an introduction to Joy. She is on the backside, ready with her fingers to type in answers to your questions. And I will also see those questions as they come in. And so if they're relevant to what I'm talking about, I can grab those and ask those questions and answer those questions as well. With the Smart Iron-On, you can cut up to 9 feet, which is a game changer. So if you're doing a back to school event and maybe you are doing it at your local elementary school or something like that, and you want to say like, go Tigers, Parkland Elementary, or whatever you want to say on the shirt, then you can cut out, pre-cut 9 feet of that design. And it is a big time saver for you. And then we have our Easy Press, which again allows you to do small designs and big designs. There are 3 different sizes of the Cricut Easy Press. We have the mini, the 9x9, and the 12x10. And then we also, when you're ready for it, the auto press. So if you're working up to doing a lot of shows and making a lot of t-shirts or bags or canvas, the auto press is your next level. It's like the next dream. All right. Now you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And so please feel free to reach out with any other questions. So let's go ahead and stop sharing on this. Oh, right. And that's a great question. If the Easy Press is the same as an iron, the Easy Press is not the same as an iron. The Easy Press, it allows you to alter your time, and the Easy Press 3s go up to 450 degrees, as does the Easy Press 2. They go up to 450 degrees, which allows you to work with infusible ink. So it gives you like a higher temperature. It also, the Easy Press, let me see, I have mine plugged in, but my other one's too low. The Easy Press gives even heat across the entire plate. So when we check the heat on an iron, the center of the iron is the hottest spot, and then it gets a little cooler as it goes out. So the Easy Press gives you even temperature control all the way around the face of the Easy Press. You can also adjust your time using the Easy Press app. So it's a great tool to have. You may just get started with an iron, a home iron, and then you find like, okay, I've done like 20 t-shirts. I'm maybe ready to upgrade, and I'm doing this a little bit more serious. I want something that's going to work a little bit better. And the Easy Press is what you're going to want to go to. I use it for cheer bows when I make cheer bows. I use it for everything. Do I suggest any other heat presses? You know, I've only used the Cricut Easy Press and the Cricut Auto Press, so I know how those work for me, and I'm very happy with how they work. So aside from that, I can't really speak to any other brands that might be out there. So let's go ahead and keep those questions coming, because this is how we learn. And I love to have the questions. So keep the questions coming. And I'm going to get started with the overhead camera, and I have some images that I've already cut out for you, but I wanted to show you. Let me open up my Cricut here. This, I think it's going to be our last one. Let me go to, I want to go to like, let's go to the home screen. When we talk about being local, I'm in the state of Virginia. So if I wanted to do something that was local for the state of Virginia, let's say maybe I was going to South Carolina or something like that, I could do that. But there are so many really cool designs for each of the different states that you can really pick out a design and work with that design, change up the t-shirt color, change up the design of the iron-on vinyl. You can change the color there. You could maybe, if you want to do a local craft fair and you want to have 3 or 4 designs, remember, no more than 5. You may pick a few designs that work well with each other, and so you can have like a nice little display. So I picked, here's the one I picked. I picked this one by Miss Mandy, and if you go into her profile, you can see that she has a lot of different states already designed. So I selected this Virginia one. Let's see, I'm going to hide this one for right now. So this was the design I chose, and I have a medium woman's shirt. So the 9.683 was a good size for me. And what I would do then is I would just send it to my cutter and make it. Now, here's the cool part. If you are making, let's say you're going to have a dozen shirts ready to go and you need to cut out 12 of this. Well, one, you can add multiples on one cut. So we're going to change it to, we're cutting without a mat because we're going to use smart materials. And then we're going to apply a quantity of 12 copies to this image. And then those all populate on my canvas. Now, if I wanted to, and oh, we want to mirror everything. Don't forget the mirror. But I can take these designs and rotate them on the prepare screen here so that I can cut multiples out. I can get more cut out of my design. Now you can also do this on the canvas, but on your prepare screen too, you can just see, okay, how am I going to fit all these in there? Like if I turn some of these on their side, can I get more on there and really maximize your material? So I can put that one on there like that. I always like to try and get it straight, but you can really maximize your materials doing it like this. And if you wanted to, then you can't really change your size, but look at that. Now I got 4 designs right into there by really getting them closer and moving things around. So you can do that on there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing this and go to my overhead camera because I went ahead and made that shirt. I did the cut it out already for you. And I want to show you how I'm going to press that. So I'm just, sorry, need my bigger, oh no, I don't see my bigger mat. Here it is. All right. All right. So if you're getting, I use this Easy Press mat, and you can see I've used it quite a bit. It has a little bit of a scorch mark on there. I think I left something on too long. But what I'm going to do is I'll bring up my Easy Press here so you guys can see it started to heat up. So I've got this heating up right here, and I'm going to grab my t-shirt. So if you have not, if you haven't worked with t-shirts, if maybe you haven't made t-shirts yet, we're going to go through how to do it. So this is the Gildan small t-shirt, and I'm just going to remove the tag here. And I've already have my design and it's weeded out and ready to go. And one thing I love about this is it has the little side part here. A lot of places for Virginia don't do that. So Nicole, great question. How do you measure to make sure the design is positioned correctly on the shirt? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my design, my shirt here. And the first thing I need to do is find the center of my shirt. So one way I do that is I match up my shoulders and my neckline. And then I match up the side of my shirt here, the side seam here. If it has this one doesn't have a side seam. So I'll just go with my sleeves here and line that up. So I'm just going to push that down. And this will help me find the center of my shirt. Okay, so I've got it centered here and I have my sides lined up. Now just put that on my press here. Now, if you are using a home iron and an easy press iron, really doesn't matter what type of iron you're using, I would recommend you work on a countertop or some sort of sturdier surface than an ironing board. And the reason for that is you really want to be able to push on your press if you need to, or push on your iron if you need to. So an ironing board doesn't give you like the most stable table to work with. So you may want to, have it on a countertop. You can even put down a paper towel, not a paper towel, a towel, a bath towel, if you don't have an easy press mat. Great job. Great question. Do you pre-wash your shirt prior to putting on the design? I do not pre-wash the shirts. a lot of times the shirts will say if they're pre-washed or not. You can pre-wash it if you're worried about any, like if it's got a finish on it, but I don't pre-wash my shirts because my laundry detergent somebody may have allergies. And if I say it's pre-washed, they might wear it right away. So I don't pre-wash my shirts. Okay, so I have that little center seam right there, and I can take my design and find the center of my design by folding it in half and then marking my half points here and here. And then now it's ready to go. I know I can line up my little marks on my sheet with the lines on my on the shirt. Now, I do have in my design space, I have a little shirt measure, and I gotta find it. I should have had it out. I have a little, hold on 1 second. It's got it. I know it's right around here. It's just a piece of paper I designed. Here it is. That has the measurements on it and a neckline piece. And you can go to my profile and make this right on your Cricut. It'll cut it out and put in a pen and draw everything. So you can line this up with the shoulder seams and then position your design at the bottom of that and line it up that way. My general rule of thumb is 2 to 3 fingers from the neckline. I always do that on adult garments. If I'm working with a child's garment, I'll just do 2 fingers. So that's my general rule of thumb. And this guide, believe it or not, usually has me within those 2 to 3 fingers. So you can just use that as your guide. Also, you can measure across your design to the armpits seams and make sure you have the same amount of space on each side. Now, I will tell you, sometimes designs that are a little bit heavier on one side, I might like push a little bit to the more narrow side because there's so much weight over here. But that just depends on the design. So this is 3.5 inches here. And then we'll go over here. And it is also 3.5 inches from that side. So I've got it positioned right on the side. I've got it lined up. And if I use my ruler again, it's lined up on the bottom. So I'm ready to press this. Now, once you're ready to press this, because I do have the Easy Press 3, I'm just gonna, Joy, do you want me to share my screen from my phone or just do it on the app? Can you guys see it? If I use the heat press here, let me go like this.
I think we can see it, Kesley.
Okay, I'm just gonna use the Cricut heat press there and go a little bit.
This is the app that she's downloaded onto her phone. It's called the Cricut Heat app.
Yes. And you just pick what device you're, what Easy Press you're using. So I'm going to use, I think it's this one, and I'll be starting a new project. And I just pick like what material I'm using. So I'm using the Smart Iron-On, and it's just plain. So there's no, like, it's not glitter or anything like that. My shirt's 100% cotton, and I'll be using the Cricut pressing mat. And then I just say next. And it tells me the temperature, so 315 degrees. And I'm going to send those settings to my Easy Press here so that it can change. It'll start dropping down that temperature for me because it's at 330. So it'll connect. Oh, I may have picked the wrong machine. Let me just go back. Let's see. Smart Iron-On, 100% cotton. Let's see next. Okay, so it says it's at 330 degrees and it's going to start bringing that temperature down. Now it tells me to apply light pressure and preheat my blank. So while that temperature is going down, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my blank. And are there any questions that came across that I can answer?
I don't see any questions right now.
Okay.
But if anybody has any, feel free to put them in the Q&A.
All right. Or if there's any that I missed, Joy, feel free to throw those my way too. Okay. So now it says that it is my temperature's changed to 315 degrees. And I'm going to apply it to my shirt with light pressure. So I'm just going to pick it up and I put it down and I'll apply light pressure and say go. And I just want to make sure that it's covered on all the different sizes. So my decal is covered under there, which it is. So it just takes about 30 seconds. Now, if you're doing a booth or something like that inside, make sure that you have access to electricity if you're going to be ironing on demand. So by that, I mean, you could have, 50 t-shirts under your table, have your 5 or 6 t-shirts on display, and then you can iron on the t-shirt right there for the customer. So you get the design and the color that the customer wants. So you can do it on demand. So why would you do this? Well, if you have a new design or you're just testing something out, you won't have 50 of a shirt that nobody wanted. You may only have 5 or 6. And if you sell those, great. And then you can always change your design for next time. So when I do that, I will cut out all my designs. I'll have them weeded. And if I need to, I can put them in those little pockets, like sleeve protectors, or I'll put butcher paper on the back of them so that they don't like stick together. Although they won't come off, the designs won't come off, but you don't really want them to be sticking together. So that's kind of what I'll do there. So this is just a really fun, and you want to peel this when cool. So just let it cool down for a second and then you can peel it right away. So if you are doing it on demand, you can just do it right there. And even if you wanted to, you could have your Cricut machine there and cut on demand. So there is our first shirt. And that is a great local shirt. If you're at a kids market, you can have Crayola markers that are washable Crayola markers, and a child can color this in and then it gets washed and they've got a whole new shirt the next time. So really fun idea there. And if you're doing this, what I also recommend is people want to be able to find you afterwards. So you should have a little iron-on vinyl that goes under the tag with your company name and your website or your Facebook account or something like that underneath it, so that people know how to find you so they can get more shirts of a design. So that's our first one. Now, the second one I want to show you is sort of about being, I talked about, what's the word? Having a statement or supporting a campaign or something like that. So this one, I looked up some images for vaccines. And the Level Vaccine Unlocked is the one I selected. So if your community is really having a push for vaccines or whatever time of year it is, maybe you're a nurse, a school nurse or something like that, and you just want to have a fun shirt to wear, this would be a cute one. Did I pay for the designs? So the designs are all that I'm using today are all part of Cricut Access. So if you have a Cricut Access membership, you can use the images following the angel policy. Okay, so I've gone ahead and ironed this. I didn't mean to put that in the middle because I'm going to put it on my corner here that will go over your heart. So I didn't mean to do that the way I did it. Let me just say I'm done with this design. So now I'm going to set up and do a new project. I'm using the same materials. So I'll be using Smart Iron-On, and I have a 100% cotton shirt. So I'm ready to send that over. Now, if you're doing a corner, like I'm going to do this on the corner, what I will do is using that center seam, I'm going to bring the seam of my shirt over so that I can find the middle of that breast side there. So if that makes sense. So I'm just folding it over so I can find the middle of what's left of my shirt. So I'm just going to fold that over and we're just going to press that. Let me just do it this way so we can make sure I have it as long as possible along that line. So I'm just going to go along that fold line and I'll press this side of my shirt here. So I know right where the center is for my design. I'm going to give that a little press. Actually, I'm just going to give it a little one there. And then I'm going to fold it again in half, about down that way so I can get another center point. And I'll just put a little press on there. So yes, there are some images in Design Space that are not part of Cricut Access. So if you like the licensed images, for example, I actually want that to be a little bit lower. The licensed images from Marvel or Disney, those do have a separate fee for those. And then you also need to make sure that you follow their copyright license. So the Angel policy from Cricut covers images that are included in Cricut Access through Design Space. So if you use an image that's in Design Space that is part of Cricut Access, you need to be familiar with the Cricut Angel policy. If you are using images that are purchased from a license, then you need to use their copyright policy. So I know Disney, I think everybody knows Disney's really strict about their images that are used for things that you're selling. So you'd really have to go and familiarize yourself with Disney's images to make sure you're using that. If you're using Cricut Access images, and those are the images with the little A, then you can just follow the Cricut Angel policy and you'll be safe using those. So I'm going to put this design here, and this is, so I've ironed a little section here. So I know about where the center of the left side of my t-shirt is. And I just need to find the very center of my design. So I folded it on the horizontal and the vertical, and I'm just going to line that right up on that fold line there. So that's how I would place that. And then I just am going to let's do a little heat on there to get it started. My press there to get it started. And then once I put this on again, okay. The good thing is that doesn't completely remove my wrinkles. I mean, not my wrinkles, my line. So I can see where my image is going to go. Okay, this should be, did I miss something? Like, did I miss a step? Because this should be on for a minute. So my timing isn't right here for me. I must have missed a step. So I pressed for 30 seconds. So I'm going to manually change my time here to press for 30 seconds. That's what I'd like to do. And I'm going to bring that easy press back over, set it down, and we're going to press it down there. To use heat resistant tape when you are ironing. So if you're using, we are going to use some infusible ink, and that's usually when I use heat resistant tape, unless I'm trying to get around like a really funky top, like if I'm making baseball caps or something like that and using the hat press, then I would want to use the tape on that to get around that design. But for t-shirts and things, I don't really find that I need to use any tape because it's just going on a flat surface. So I don't typically do that, and I only need this for 15 seconds here. Let me even go lower, and then I'm going to let it cool and peel when cool. So there is heat resistant tape that's tape that's specifically for your heat, so you can heat it up and be safe with it. So I'm just going to let that cool. So it's cool to the touch there. I'm so impatient when it comes to these things. And I notice it's not quite down there for me. So I'm just going to hold it a little bit more, give it a little bit more of a light press. And then I have another design to show you that is a fun design if, you know, like talking about your personal brand and your personal message for what you want to say to people. So we're going to go over that here in just a second for our next design. Now this next design, I actually used, I'm going to let this cool so I can peel when it's cool. So I'm just going to set this one aside. A lot of times, if you do go to a market, I suggest you have a cool surface that you can press after you've pressed, that you can put your design on, because your design, you want it to cool. And if people are standing there staring at you like, hey, I'm ready to go, you will want to have it cool quickly. So you might want to have like a little spot that you can cool it off on. Yes, Roma, great question. In the Cricut app, now if you don't have an Easy Press 3, it will give you the directions. Like if you just open the heat guide, it will give you the directions on how to heat something up. So let's just say I'm going to go through and pick, let's say I have the Easy Press 2, and my material is going to be the Smart Iron-On, and my base material is going to be that 100% cotton shirt. So then I click on pressing that, then I click on apply, and it tells me 315 degrees for 30 seconds. I preheat for 5 seconds, and then I flip and press for 15 seconds. So it really does walk you through all the steps either way. I have to say that I like the app sending it over, because sometimes I forget to do things, like I forget to do the preheat. So the app, whenever I go to the shirt and I see, oh, it's 5 seconds, I know that's my preheat time. And then when I do it on the flip over, I know, okay, I need to do the flip over next. Okay, so here's my next shirt. And this one is such a fun design. It says, love yourself. So super cute. And I've got some different designs. Now I can piece this together, but the design fits in really closely with itself. So I could cut along the edge here, but instead what I'm going to do is I'll start with my first one, and I'm going to put my first color down and press that down on my shirt. Let's just get my center there. And I'm just going to press this one down first. So if you're working with multiple colors or multiple designs, I always try and do what's closest to the top of my design, like of my neckline first, and then I'll go and do the other parts of it. Now, if you're working with multiple types of material, so these are all the same material, so I don't have to change up my material. I don't have to change up my settings or anything. The other one we're going to work on, the last one we're going to work on, we're going to do it a little bit differently, because I have iron-on vinyl, and we're going to put, and we're going to use infusible ink. So normally you want to use the material that has the highest temperature setting first, and then you add on the other temperature settings. So we're just going to go ahead, then you do like the lighter temperature settings. I'm not going to do this all the way, but I am going to give it like a little press on the back. One of the things I want to warn you guys, because I know if you're at a show and people are, excited to get their shirts, it's very tempting to rush through it. If you choose to rush through it and peel off the material before you're supposed to, what can happen is it will wrinkle. And I'll show you an example of that. Well, we're going to let this first layer cool. Then I'll come back and I'll show you this one's probably cooled off. And I also want to show you what that wrinkling looks like. Now, this one I'm going to show you, I meant to do the wrinkling. do this. So we've got this one already. Now, as I take it off, if I notice anything peeling up, I would just apply a little bit more heat. And then that would, then it would stick down, let it cool again and peel it up again and make sure everything's working. So I can see my E right there is not peeling down on my t-shirt. So I'm going to apply a little bit more heat up in this corner right here because my E and my D kind of peeled up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera. Not quite stuck down, but that's okay because I haven't taken it off yet. And I'm just going to put this back on and give it another little press. Actually, I don't even need to do the whole thing, but I'm just going to give that another little press. And I'm going to actually make sure my arm seam is out of the iron. So I'm just pressing on that side. A little light pressure there, and we're ready to go. And then we'll let that one cool again, and I'll show you that now we can take it off and it'll be fine. And when I have to repress, I don't press on the back, although maybe I should follow all the steps again, but I'm gonna let that one cool off again. And I wanna show you this shirt here. This is the foil I used. And hopefully you can see it wrinkled up. Now I intended for that to happen because I wanted it to have a distressed look, but you don't usually wanna do that. If you're iron on vinyl, wrinkles like this, it means that you pulled it up quicker than you intended to. So be very patient, let it cool. As hard as that is to do, let it cool and peel it off at the right time. Okay, so now if a little bit of this comes up on this design, I'm not going to worry about it because I'll be putting down more colors and more heat. So I would just kind of push that down there if I needed to. So love yourself. So we're going to put down, now I'm going to just lay down the your and see how it lines right up in there. So I'm just going to put that down. Now this is exposed and I don't want my easy press to press right on there. What I'm going to do is actually, I could put this back on top of it or put a Teflon sheet on top. So I'm going to do that one because that's what I have handy. And I'm not going to do the pre-press because I've got that there, but I am going to do the 30 seconds and do the flip. So we're just going to do that there. And you want me to bring that one closer, Michelle? Okay, so this is, can you see those wrinkles? If I can do it. Let's try and see if I can get my camera. There we go. You can see those wrinkles. Like in the red, white, and blue part of it, it's very smooth. But in this part, you can see those wrinkles in there. So I intended that to happen because I wanted to give that a distressed look, but I did not, you don't normally want that to happen. Okay, so I'm going to take that off. We'll give it the flipperoo. And we're going to flip this one around and then I'll do that for 15 seconds and I'll watch it go down and then we'll let it cool. Check out our other one and then we'll try. I have one more to show, hopefully. So one other thing, if you are doing a craft show or something like that, don't forget about your marketing. And so your packaging, your marketing is all really important part about your booth. So what that means is you want to have your, iron on your company name and how to find you, but also have tags that can be applied to the clothes. And you can, if you don't have like a tag machine, don't worry about that. You can put it on with a little piece of string and a safety pin. So it can go on onto the design. Now see how being patient with that. Now it's down and it's stuck. And how cute is that one? So that's and you can do don't forget, like the corner pockets are really cute to do just little subtle designs. I love this, especially if you're working with a cause or for, it's just something little. You want a little design. The pocket is a great place to put it. All right, so let's pull this one up again. And hopefully this one has cooled off for us. So I know this piece is cooled. That was my top one before. And then we're going to peel this one off. I put this on my floor. I have hardwood floor here. So I just pop that down on my floor and that helps. So, and I think it's important to know your audience, know who's going to be at what type of person might be at your show that would be interested in the designs you're offering. If you're doing a show for the man cave, like a home decor for the man cave, love yourself shirts might not be, appealing to that crowd. But if you're doing like a girls on the run type of show, this would be perfect for that. Okay, we're gonna do 30 seconds on this one. Thank you, but I'm asking for the machine to have the Cricut Easy Press. I'm getting a Cricut Easy Press Mini. Oh, you'll love it, Kevin. It's so sweet. So I'm able to do sublimation hats, whether it's here at home or Papa's. Are there any tips I should know before I do anything? So if you're specifically doing hats, you may want to look at the Cricut hat press because that is specifically for hats. If you plan on using the Easy Press for other things, then you'll be good. But if you're only going to use it for hats, you may want to look at the Cricut hat press. The Easy Press is really great because it's small and it does go with you. So if you're using it for other things other than like if you just are doing, let's say you want to customize a design. So you have designs that are done and you like want to add a name or an event on the sleeve or something like that. You could just do that with the mini press right there. Okay, so this didn't quite, okay, I'm going to put that down again. So any ideas on how to start the business? Go for it. Go for it. You've got to just give it a try. You've got to start. So if, I would start small and then branch out, use word of mouth to get your business going. And by small, I mean, go to like your local community markets and your local community pop-ups. See if you could put your shirt in a gift store that's local or a flower shop that's local and start to build from there. I think having a goal of, I peeled that too soon. So I'm gonna set this one aside to cool now and we'll do one more. If you're just getting started, you want to have a goal and know what you're working towards so that okay, I want to have 500 t-shirts sold. And that's when I'll feel like I've made it big and I'll have X amount of money in my bank account. Definitely if you can, set up your finances separate from your own personal finances, set up a bank account that is separate. I've used the Square app so many different times for my for different businesses. The Square app is great, so you can take credit cards on demand. It's a big help. So I would definitely look at the Square app and using that. Let's see, what else can I think of? Get your name, pick out a name so that you know what your company name is. People will start to know how to find you. One of the best suggestions I got on a name was to make sure that you had your business, you had your like what it was that you did in the name of your business. So we had a scrapbook store, and we decided to name the scrapbook store My Scrapbook Store. So we and people knew, well, that's what we sold. We sold scrapbook supplies. So our name of our store was My Scrapbook Store, but it really became kind of funny for our clients because people who'd come in, they'd be like, oh, my husband was asking me where I was going. And I said, My Scrapbook Store. And he's like, you don't own a scrapbook store. Or people would say, well, where did you get that cute sticker or this, different thing? And people would say, oh, I got it at my scrapbook store. And like, yeah, but what's the name of the store? So it kind of was fun to have that as our name. So in the naming of it, make sure you kind of think about what am I selling, and choose a name that coordinates with what you're selling. Sorry, I'm stuck here. Just peeling this off. This is why you want to use butcher paper in between your designs so they don't stick to each other like this. Okay. Woo. All right. So this is going to be a fun little Halloween design. So thinking ahead, I know we're still in summer and everyone's like, oh my gosh, don't give me Halloween yet. I'm still in my bathing suits. But this one is going to be a fun one. So this one, we're going to do spooky. I'm going to find the middle of that one. And that's just going to go right there. So this time, instead of doing it in 2 different processes, I'm going to do my white and black at the same time. So I'm going to put the white here. Now, normally I would do this one in my auto press because I am going to be doing infusible ink on top of this. So it's just gives me a better press even than my easy press does. So I would normally do that, but it's a little hard to do that here. So the Love Yourself was an image that I used from Design Space. And if anybody you can follow my profile. If you go in Design Space and you look for my name, Kesley Anderson, you will be able to see, sorry, let me just get this lined up here. I share my projects. So after today, I will share my project here that I did. I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough room here for my spooky. Okay, I'm going to trim this really close here. So this is one, I would not do this on site. I would definitely want to have this one done ahead of time. Spooky vibes. Okay. Now, there we go. That looks good. And I'm lined up right in my center. Okay, perfect. So I've got my easy press set up to 330 degrees. Okay, so sorry, I didn't finish that thought. So I'm going to do half of it first, and then I'm going to move it down and do the second half. I don't know if you guys can see. So I've got a little bit sticking out here. And so I'm just going to come back and do that part last. Okay, so the images I'm using on the shirts, if you go into Design Space and you type in my name, Kesley Anderson, you can find my profile and follow my profile. Since these shirts are being made live, I don't have pictures on the project, so I haven't shared them yet. But as soon as I get pictures of the projects this afternoon, I will share these in Design Space, and then you can follow along and make these for yourself. So they're just all the images I'm using today are in Design Space. And I don't think any of them are ones I've created myself. They're all images in Design Space. And a lot of them use the Cap artist, which are the Cricut artists. That was only, well, that's okay. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to turn it over and do the back for 15 seconds. And the reason I said that was okay, because I didn't have it down for the full 30 seconds, is because I'm going to, I have this iron-on infusible ink I'm going to use next. So you'll see how that goes. Very fun. Okay. We're just going to get this one on there. All right. And then, so to do infusible ink, I need to set my settings higher. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off there, and we'll let this cool for a second. And we're going to start a new project. And I'm going to be using infusible ink. Let's find my infusible ink transfer sheet. And I'm actually putting it on this vinyl glitter. So we're just going to say, I'm going to say a wine bag, and I'm going to choose next. Now it's going to, I'm going to send the settings and it's going to, did I pick the wrong one? Sorry. I have the wrong bags, the wrong easy press selected. All right, so we're just going to do this. Ink transfer. Wine bag. Next. Okay, so it's going to how does it do that? Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I think I put the wrong temperatures in there. 385 degrees. Okay, so while that's heating up, I'm going to peel off this one. And again, if it doesn't peel all the way, that's okay, because I am going to heat it up again. So I'm going to peel that off, which it's stuck all the way down, which is great. And then we're just going to put this Infusible ink transfer sheet right over my glitter letters. So I'm just lining that up and I'm going to put that down. Now here is where I could use some tape if I felt like I needed to, if it wasn't sitting in the right place or something. I could use a little bit of tape on there, but I'm going to be good with that. Okay, so I've got that lined up. Now, when you're using Infusible ink transfer sheets, you want to use a piece of butcher paper between your Infusible ink and your iron. And the reason is you don't want the Infusible ink to transfer on through the plastic piece onto your Easy Press. So we're going to put that on there, and I'm going to, let's see, apply light pressure. For this, I skipped, this should be my preheat the blank. So we're going to have a little extra heat on this one, but I'm okay with that. And then now we're just going to do for 60 seconds. So I'll keep my eye on that for 45 seconds. I hope you guys are learning. Thank you so much for telling me you're learning a lot today. While this, I know we're almost done and we're over time a couple minutes. If you have any last questions, I will answer. Would you be able to give me a breakdown for a shirt that Kesley has done here? For example, what is the average time to choose a design? Oh yeah, so how to price it. So that's a really great question, is how to price your shirts. So the first step is to know your competition. And if you are going to like look online, see how much people are selling t-shirts for, you know, is your t-shirt special? Are you adding something to this t-shirt that would justify charging a bit more for that t-shirt? So for example, are you, I'm just going to flip this over so I can heat up the back on this like that. Are you like what I'm doing right here, this, doing multiple layers here, that's more time consuming. So could I charge more for this? Like how much more could I charge for it? So you want to take that into consideration. But a lot of it, Karen, comes down to what your market can bear. And I always like to price things fair, but on the higher end of fair. So if t-shirts are selling in my area for $15 to $25, I'll try and push mine up to that $25 mark. If you notice that at your market, things are not selling in that price range, it is totally okay to take a step back and from your pricing and like plan on having like a midday sale or a flash sale or something like that. And the more you practice, the more you'll find your pricing. So sometimes you may be like, oh, I didn't sell anything. Well, maybe you priced it too high, or you sold everything and maybe you priced it too low. All right, so there's my orange Infusible ink on my t-shirt. I have a little bit of shadowing there, so I should have used the tape, but it still is super cute. And then this, I need to let this cool before I peel this off. Let's see if I can peel it off before it cools, because I am sorry, guys, I am over time. Let's get this last one peeled off here. Look how cute. There we go. Oh my goodness, how fun is that? So something like this that has multiple colors in it, that uses the glitter, I would definitely consider charging a little bit more for that. And then the last one, we didn't peel this one yet. Love Yourself. Peel that off there. Here we go. Oh, this is fun. Now, on something like this, you might embroider like some flowers on it or something, or have a little bracelet that you put with it you can up your pricing on it, or something like that. But the pricing just really varies on what your market can bear. And right now, I know, we're all looking at ways to save money. So take that into consideration, sell more, have fun with it, and don't stress out. If you have questions after the class, please feel free to reach out to me through the Instagram or Facebook. Follow my account on the Cricut Design Space. Can I show real quick, Maria, and then we'll be done? Okay. In Design Space, let me just show you how to find me. If you go to the home screen, here's the home screen, and type in Kesley, Kesley Anderson, and scroll down. There's my USA shirt, but you scroll down to my profile right here and click on that. And then you can follow, there's a button that'll say to follow me, and you can follow me. And I do post up my after the class, I'll post up what I made. So I'll get these t-shirts, we'll get some pictures taken and get these posted up for you, so you'll have those, and then you guys can see the designs I used. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your time today, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. Please do share with me and tag me. I'd love to see it. So thanks. Thank you, Maria.